Hello, welcome to my Brawlerblade Heavily Armored Stamina Nightblade build for the Wolfhunter patch. Let's go ahead and get into the gear. We are using 2-piece Troll King, 5-piece Warrior's Fury, and 5-piece 7th Legion Brute. All of our gear is impenetrable and it has all been enchanted with max stamina enchantments. Our head is medium and our shoulders are light. The rest of our gear is all heavy, which includes our chest, belt, boots, gloves, and our plate legs. This is so we can have the extra 6% resources from Undaunted, and it maximizes the resistances granted naturally by our armor pieces. For our jewelry, I am using all Warrior's Fury jewelry that has been transmuted to the Robust trait, with 2 weapon damage enchantments and 1 stamina cost reduction enchantment. My main hand sword is a Nirnhode 7th Legion sword with a Crusher enchantment, and my offhand weapon is a 7th Legion sword that is sharpened and has a disease enchantment. My backbar weapon is a 7th Legion's battle axe that is infused and has a berserker enchantment. The best race for this build is an Orc, second best race is Khajiit, third best is Nord. We're using Troll King, and as we all know, that's a very high amplifier on our health recovery, which we're also using Artaeum Broth and 7th Legion Brute, which also gives us another health recovery bonus. And so we're trying to amplify this up as high as possible, though we do not actually have major fortitude in this build. I'm using major expedition potions in this build, and thus I don't have that burst heal for my potions, and I don't get major fortitude for 47 seconds. So we're really trying to get as much health recovery percentage bonuses from wherever we can as possible, and that was one of the easiest ones to pick up, but the hardest yet. I couldn't pick it up in this build. Major expedition beats that 20% health recovery you get from the potion, but still it would have been very nice to have. If you're a race with a max stamina bonus, feel free to drop one of these max stamina enchantments off your big pieces for another max health. Try to shoot for 33k stamina, which you should have if you have your Undaunted and you're an Orc. And, or like you can still play this build on Redguard, but you'd lose another 20% health recovery from your racial passives. Anyway, I'm using these sets together because Troll King is just phenomenal for line of sighting. You get 15% more health recovery as a Nightblade. You get 20% because I'm a Khajiit. I get another 20% from heavy armor. I get more from CP and other places, so it's a really good set. I don't think the one piece really works. It's Garbo. I still don't think they fixed it because I know it was bugged for a while and it wasn't doing anything. Now, I'm using Fury. I really didn't want to use this set. I actually had Spriggans here originally. I was originally 7th Spriggans Troll King. And I decided to put Fury on over Spriggans because I already have 11, I think like almost 11.5k penetration. So I wanted just to up my overall base damage, and plus Fury affects your heals, which I actually don't have that many healing sources on this build. I have Vigor and a heal over time for forward momentum. So if you use the Blood Cray setup, which I'll go into about being a Khajiit in a bit. But other than that, I just really wanted to up my base damage because I already had very high penetration, and Fury just fit the slot perfectly here. It's biggest weapon damage set in the game, so as long as you mindfully line of sight and don't burn your opponents in the dust behind you, as long as you're taking some sort of damage, this will be proccing. So keep that in mind. Don't overly line of sight your opponents. And I decided to throw 7th Legion on because that fucking health recovery bonus, bro. I'm kidding. But no, that's kind of what attracted me to this set. And other than that, it's a free fucking 500 weapon damage set. Yeah, the 2 through 4 piece aren't that great, but they're not Garbo either. I'll take the weapon crit and weapon damage all day. And the health recovery just clicked right in with this build, and just it's been working very well for me. It's up all the time. That 2-second cooldown only affects the fucking heal, by the way. The weapon damage can proc 100 times in 1 second. And confirmed that I was fucking around in Cyrodiil fighting like a 10-man Lobby RP guild at that church by Brindle. And yeah, I confirmed it there when I went back and watched that clip from that. I should have put it up, but they tried banning me for ruining their fucking immersion, so. And Sauce gave me a 3-day ban, and I fought it, and I was pretty much banned for almost like 24 hours. Because, you know, ruining their fucking immersion, baby. It's fucking Cyrodiil. Gotta ruin their fucking immersion. Yeah, I'm gonna try to briefly cover the skills. I typically get into a lot of depth with my skills, but I'm gonna try to do that under the rotation part because most people just want to see what the fuck I'm using and get the fuck out of here. So to you people, here you go. Using Relentless Focus is my first ability on my front bar. Using Steel Tornado as the second ability is an AoE Execute. Be warned, it's expensive, so don't get caught spamming this. Third skill is Surprise Attack. It's only 2k stamina. but it only has a 5-meter range. Other than that, it slams motherfuckers. It gives a major fracture. 4 skill is Mass Hysteria. This is our hard CC. It can be kind of buggy, but it fears 2 people. Really good ability. It has a nice snare and minor main, but doesn't do any damage. So it doesn't add anything real to our first combo on our opponents. But it's a fucking hard CC. It's always reliable. So if you can hit the target with it, it's reliable. And if they're not CC immune. 5th skill is Evil Hunter. This is just a crit bonus. Don't ever fucking cast a skill. And it gives us 3% more weapon damage, which is a large sum on this build because we're using Warrior's Fury in 7th. And we have like 5,865 weapon damage. Our ult is Flawless Dawnbreaker. It's only 125 ultimate, which ain't shit. And it actually hits harder than Dawnbreaker Smiting on this build because we have so much weapon damage. That extra 5% this ability grants us winds up outperforming the bonus damage Dawnbreaker Smiting gets. We just lose the stun, but we have a reliable one right here. Onto our two-handed bar. Our first skill is Forward Momentum. This is snare removal. It's only 2,700 stamina. And just a really good skill. Second skill is Vigor. You know it, you love it. Third skill, Rearming Trap. This amps our crit damage up. Has a nice little strong damage over time. It's a root. And does decent initial damage. Mirage, this is the Brawlerblade King skill. Major Evasion, Minor Resolve, Minor Ward. And it's our second Magicka skill. And we only have 2 Magicka skills on this build, so you pretty much always can cast Mass Hysteria. Our fifth skill is Leeching Strikes. This is the Stam Sustain tool. It's extremely good. Don't get caught with this down. And our ultimate, now I will give it a little bit more time on this one. Soul Siphon. This ability, I don't know why the fuck, like, people don't spam this shit in serial. This is such a good ability. It has a 28-meter fucking radius. Heals everybody for 10k health on the spot, an additional 28k every 4 seconds. This is unbuffed. Grants everybody within the 28-meter radius, so 56-meter diameter, major vitality for 4 seconds, increasing the healing received by 30%. That's not shown on the tooltip here. And an ally can activate Soul Leech, which damages a nearby enemy and heals everybody in the initial radius of this ability for the damage done, which is also fucking huge. Like, this thing is so good for 150 ult. It's just no shit button, and it's just insane. I'll take this over a resto ult any day of the week. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over our champion points. We're going to start off with the green tree, the tower. 56 in the Warlord to reduce the cost of break free by 20%. 19 in the Sprinter to reduce the cost of sprint by 12%. This is 75 points, so when we die, we get this useless fucking bonus for our allies. Onto the Lover. We have 75 points in the Mooncalf for 14% more stamina recovery. 43 points in the Healthy for 10% more health recovery. And 27 points in Tenacity to increase the stamina restored by our heavy attacks by 7%. Note that we also get Wind Running on this tree too, which increases our movement speed by 2%. And gives us another 10% more health recovery while sprinting. Keep that in mind when your Troll King's up and you gotta haul ass. I just said that with a really weird fucking voice. Sorry, I'm dead ass tired. I'm ripping some fucking Belvedere and Coke right now. Getting ripped, baby. And onto the Shadow, we got 40 points in the Tumbling to reduce the cost of roll dodge by 16%, because I love to double tap that fucking W key. Onto the Blue Tree, we got 43 points in the Bless to increase our healing done by 10%. This is under the Apprentice Tree. And fun fact about this affects 7th Legion's heal. Making it do 10% more, which is whatever, but it procs so much I figured it'd be worth mentioning. On to the next one, the Atronach. We have 14 in Physical Weapon Expert to increase our weave damage by 9%. It's 61 in the Master at Arms to increase our direct damage by 21%. On to the Ritual, the main stamina tree. We have 66 points in Precise Strikes, giving us 22% more critical damage, which is huge. 33 points in the Piercing for an extra 2,900 physical penetration, and 43 points in the Mighty for another 10% all-around damage. If you want to, you can drop 1% out of Mighty, a couple points out of Piercing, and like 2% out of Precise Strikes, and put whatever points that I just told you in Thaumaturge, and if there's any leftover ones that are odd numbers, throw them into Piercing. And that should pick up your dot damage by 7% if you're worried about the Flawless Dawnbreaker dot, and like if you want to do the Blood Craze build I'm going to show you later, you're going to want to do that. Trap also hits very hard, and that's going to affect that too. Onto the Red Tree, the Steed. 56 in the Ironclad, reducing our damage taken by direct damage attacks by 20%. 30 in the Resistant, which increases our critical resistance by 844. Next, the Lady. We have to have 120 in this tree for this Unchained passive. That's really good. And don't blow this fucking passive on Leeching Strikes, because you're an idiot if you do that. 80% of 660 fucking stamina. Whoop-de-doo. This is so much fucking better to blow on a Forward Momentum, a Vigor, or even like a Surprise Attack, which is only 2k. But you want to shoot for Vigor and Forward Momentum on this. Anyway, 37 points into Hardy. which decreases our physical damage and all kinds of physical poison, disease, whatever, you get the point, by 9%. 37 elemental defender to do the same thing against all magicka based abilities, and 56 in a thick skin to reduce all damage over time effects damage by 20%. And then lastly, we got the Lord, 43 into quick recovery to increase our healing received by 10%, and 1 into heavy armor focus because we had a throwaway point. Alright, if you stuck around after I said 7th Legion and Fury with Troll King and didn't yell, wow, what a faggot, I was talking about alternative builds for different races and how to tweak it a little bit. Like if you're Khajiit, you can go ahead and throw Blood Craze right here, which is a dual wield skill. That gives us a nice heal over time that's a bit bigger than Forward Momentum's hot. It's dirt cheap, you can tag multiple people with it, it's a nice bleed, and it's just a really good skill. And you can throw that there instead of Evil Hunter and sacrifice that 10% weapon crit, but you'll still have 40% weapon crit in a heavy armor build, which is pretty much where everybody else is in this game. But if you do that, you can pick up 3% more weapon crit by slotting in cap right here, and you'll have really good single target damage if you do this. Whereas I set mine up more for 1vx. If you do that, you'd be 1vx still, but you'd have a whole different play style to it. Where I'm trying to catch as many people in my dawnbreaker as possible. Yours set up there, you could just pick one fucking person and delete them. So if I threw Blood Craze right here, and let me get my class abilities in cap, I would actually have 43% weapon crit right here, which is still really good. You lose your major savagery buff, but NCAP makes up for it a little bit, Khajiit passive, obviously. But you could just nuke people single target. You will lose a lot of weapon damage. You just lost 11% weapon damage by doing that, which is huge on this setup. So I'd recommend dropping Fury for Spriggan so you have that just instant fucking damage right there. 7th will be up if your line of sighting is Zerg. And I was running that setup for a while. That was really good. But that is literally Khajiit only, hence why I didn't do it in a build video. Alright, but anyway, let's go over the miscellaneous shit. There's 3 races to choose from. Orc, which I think would be the best. Khajiit, which unlocks that second skill set that I just talked about. And Nord, all of these because you want the 20% health recovery, but you can still make Red Guard and shit work. You only have like 31 or 3200 health recovery then, instead of the full on 4k, but it'll still work. And you'll pick up more sustain and more max stamina, which means more fucking damage. But you do lose the 8% crit, so whatever your opinion is on crit may change. You know, most people have a different opinion on crit than I do. I think crit's worthful. Most people think it's worthless. So take for what you will. We're using the Serpent Moonstone, which gives us 238 more regen. We're using for 64 attribute points into stamina, and I'm using Artaeum Takeaway Broth as my food, which gives us max health, health recovery, max stamina, and stam recovery. And it's pretty much necessary in a build to hit that almost 4k health regen, because it gives us 351 more health recovery. It's really good. Like, sitting here right now, we're at 1301 health recovery. That's kind of cool. Like, we don't have to proc Troll King, and we're getting 1301 health every 2 seconds, which is pretty much another fucking Blood Craze hot. Actually, I think it is. Yeah, it's... Once I was buffed up, yeah, it's pretty much another Blood Craze hot. So, and another Forward Momentum hot, which isn't bad at all, just for fucking walking around and shit. Anyway, here's how we make our potions. We're using Immovable, Major Expedition, Stamina potions. These can be made by using Blessed Thistle, Columbine, and Namira's Rot, with, of course, Lorcan's Tears as our water. Now for the Artaeum Broth, I have no fucking idea how to make it. I just buy it for like 4,500 each in Wayros. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over our rotation. First, we cast Mirage, Legion Strikes, bar swap to the front bar, Relentless Focus, bar swap back, Forward Momentum. As you're doing this, you waddle up to your opponent, place a trap, light attack, into vigor. Now, if you're under 40% stamina or 35, whatever your personal cutoff is for when you have to really yell at yourself and do some fucking heavy attacks, I like to do mine here. So I'll place that trap, then hold a heavy, press vigor right as it breaks your legs. So, oh, didn't do it. There we go. Right as it breaks like your ankle or like your knee, somewhere right in there, that's when you want to press your vigor and let go. That'll be a fully charged heavy attack. That's a really good spot to insert one if you're low on stamina, and if you're still low on stamina after doing that, bar swap right here, right surprise attack, and then light attack it out. So, with that being said, let's go back into the rotation. Barrage, reaching strikes, bar swap forward, relentless focus, forward momentum, trap, light attack vigor, light attack surprise attack, light attack mass hysteria, light attack surprise attack, light attack relentless focus. Or at that point, it's called Assassin's Scourge. You can also replace that Assassin's Scourge spot or that second surprise attack with Dawnbreaker, and then go straight into the Assassin's Scourge if your Dawnbreaker is ready. So at full speed, and do Mirage, Leeching, Relentless, forward. Here we go. Then follow it up with spins. How many you need? Very rarely, if you pull that off properly, will you actually need to fucking spin, which is great because spin is so fucking expensive compared to our other skills here. Being 2969 stamina on 3k compared to 2k on our other ones. You will burn your fucking sustain if you're trying to sit there and spin people out and they're just spamming healing words. So don't get caught looking like a fucking moron doing that. And yeah, just don't get caught doing that. Well, that's that fucking easy. Most people usually die off like the second surprise attack and followed up by like a spin to win. So this build slams motherfuckers. Like I was getting 14 and 15k surprise attacks. Who the fuck gets those? You know what I mean? Like that's unreal. I was also getting hate. I was calling me a C user. I'm like, yeah, dog, I'm a C user. Plexus Edition, motherfucker. But yeah, I mean, you slam people with this build. It's pretty easy to play. The reason why forward momentum is last in our buff rotation, by the way, is so we have snare immunity while we're fighting, while we're casting our damage skills, so we don't get rooted, so we don't get snared, and so we can stay on top of our opponents pretty much. So I want to say thanks for watching my heavily armored stamina Nightblade build video called the Brawlerblade. I been waiting on transmute crystals, so that's why I haven't put a build out in like 2.5, almost 3 weeks, and I try to do bi-weekly. And if I actually had to transmute crystals, I could do a hell of a lot more than that. But I try so many fucking sets. Like I tried a lot of sets on this. Most of them are on other tunes. From Griffin's Ferocity, Bone Pirate, Sheer Venom. I tried Truth. That's what I used to run actually was Truth Spriggans. And of course I used Spriggans. I used a lot of shit on this. I used Two Throw. I wanted Blood Craze instead of having to use Evil Hunter, which that setup did work, by the way. She had less maximum damage than what we have here. But that setup did actually work really well. So, but other than that, if you enjoyed the video, I tried to make this one really fast because people cried about my 35-minute videos, saying they already know how to play the game. That I'm an idiot for telling them how to fucking play. I'm like, okay, pal, that's the way you want it. That's the way you'll fucking get it. So, if you enjoyed the video, shoot me a sub, and if you didn't like it, shoot me a thumbs down, but tell me why in the comments so I can, try to improve upon it. And other than that, have a great day.